Hello there. So today we have Michael Bahanas, the founder of Alpha Lead Academy here. So Michael, thank you for joining this call. So
Anytime,
can
Joe.
you, great. So just to kick things off, can you briefly describe like what you do and what your business is?
Sure, absolutely. So we are an advisory solution for consultants and B2B coaches, agency owners as well, and we help them build client acquisition systems and stop depending on referrals. It's a 6-month engagement. Uh, Everybody who's worked with us has had at least a 300% ROI, and
Mhm.
we've been in business in this iteration for about 5 years now.
Okay, wonderful. And well, the thing is, I would not say we are doing the same thing, but we have some sort of overlap in terms of what we do, where we help people to sign more clients. And I would say we met in a quite unique way that I don't think a lot of people meet each other. So, like, can you recall how we actually like get to know each other?
Of course, uh, I once approached somebody via our cold email approach, and they booked a call with me. And then they said, "Oh, so this is what you do." Well, we've just been working with somebody who's brought us great results on a done for you basis. And I said, "That's great, because I don't hear of many people who do B2B lead gen and they do it successfully and their clients are raving about them. It's oh, we've signed up with this lead gen agency and it didn't work." So I'm always on the lookout for people who are good at their craft. In my experience, is about 5 to 10% of B2B lead gen agencies actually know what they're doing. So anytime I hear of somebody who's good, I want to meet them. And so I wanted to meet you. And also, as soon as we spoke, I realized that you know what you're talking about. And so we ran a test campaign, you can say, where you did
Mhm.
some work for us. And well, we'll talk about the results, but this is how we met.
Mhm. Yeah, and I would say it was really good decision that like we decided to speak with each other. And also what I really liked about like your approach when I like we first met on a call is you were super like data driven. You were all about the numbers. So like and as far as I know, before we even started to work together, you were doing like cold emails yourself, right?
Yeah.
And you had the system built. So can you recall approximately how many calls you were booking on a monthly basis with your own system? And how
Yeah.
many hours it was taking you, like time commitment wise?
Mhm. Our system is very effective, but it does require a little bit of effort on your end. However, because it is so personalized and you add some personality into it,
Mhm.
therefore it has enormously high call booking rates. Like we're seeing 5% call booking rates with complete strangers who we approach once and then send a few follow-ups. But that I've not heard of an cold email campaign that achieves these kind of results. But it
Mhm.
takes a little bit of time. To give you a specific idea, it takes me about 3 to 4 minutes to record one such video and 5% call booking rates. The thing is, when you send these very personalized videos and you do them well, you also have a very high closing rate. So I found that
Mhm.
on those calls that we booked with this method, we had an almost 40% closing rate. Okay, so just if you
Mhm.
think about the numbers, you
Yeah.
send 100 emails, you book 5 calls, and of those you close 40%, meaning two. So that
Mhm.
means one for every 50 emails, you close one deal. So now imagine it takes 3 minutes to record a call. You can to record a Loom video, which means you can record 20 per hour. Now let's be a bit generous. Let's add a little bit to it. So let's say 15 per hour. That means you will get to 50 in about 3 to 4 hours time. So again, let's be
Yeah.
generous. In 4 hours time, you will have produced enough material so that you can close one deal. Okay.
Mhm.
And so that is a ratio. It's a pretty good ratio, especially if your customer lifetime value like ours is around $10,000.
Mhm. It
So
is. It
that
is.
was our
And
method.
yeah. And
That
like I
and
really
still
like
is. It still is our method, I have to add, right? So it's not like we have
yeah.
it has stopped working or anything like that. It's
Mhm.
still working. But when I heard about what you do and that you
Mhm.
add some AI magic into it, I was just interested and say, well, let's add that into the mix, right? If I don't have
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
do much work into don't have to put in much work to it. So I'm interested.
Mhm. And that's something I was curious about because you were already doing like good, you had 5% booking rate. So what was exactly in our like method that made you decide, okay, let's give it a shot, try it out, why not?
I was just curious about because the your client who I spoke to, who was
Hmm.
speaking very highly of you, said that you got them, I believe, a 0.3% call booking rate.
Hmm.
And to be fair, I'm not terribly hugely interested in a call booking rate per se,
Hmm.
if it's with a method where there is no incremental cost for every additional person approached, or
Hmm.
it's very, very minor, right? As opposed to in
Yep.
my method, where yes, every single time you have to record a video, it's another 3 or 4 minutes that you have to spend. So I was just
Hmm.
interested in how you do it. I have, it's like you can say I'm a collector of client acquisition methods and systems. So I was just curious on how you do it. And that was because
Hmm.
you also had some AI personalization added into it. I was very curious on how you do it because the types of personalization that I had seen in the past were
Hmm.
these pretty lame and tacky ones that is like, oh, I see that you're from Baltimore, go Ravens. You know, it's just stupid. And so I was curious on how you do it and so that it works. I was curious about that.
Okay. Yeah. I'm really glad it worked out really well for you. And yeah, because you see, so you've been using like additionally besides your system for about like 2 months, I would say, since you've been running it,
Yep.
right? And like, do you have the data on like how many calls you booked through the system and
Yes.
how many you converted?
Yes. So I believe, the time when we ran it under sort of your guidance, we approached some
Hmm.
3,000 people. We've booked 15 calls and we've had one close coming from it. There was one more that was almost there, and they just at the very last moment, they just decided to go with somebody else. So
Okay.
I consider this would have been another close. Plus, there is one more in this batch of 15
Hmm.
that still might close. Okay.
Okay.
So it would almost get us to, if you look at it very optimistically, it could get us to a 20%. With one out of 15, that's like 6 or 7%. It's in the
Yeah.
rule of big numbers. It doesn't matter that it was effectively only one conversion out of 15 sales calls booked.
Hmm.
So what mattered more is that for very low costs, once it's running, the setup, of course, takes a bit of time and effort. You did that. But once it's running, then it delivers at if I count that, it was one out of 200, right? 15 calls booked for 3,000 people approached. And that is a
Okay.
decent call booking rate. 0.5% is 10% of ours. But given that there's not much effort involved, it just runs automatically in the background. It's fine. And given that you can approach the same leads on a regular basis, it's not like once you approach somebody, you can never approach them again. It's not like that
Yeah,
works.
you can.
It's a great additional method to add on top.
Hmm.
So that's
Yeah,
our
I
number.
mean,
3,000 people approached, 15 calls booked, one close.
hmm, beautiful, beautiful. And those are some great numbers. Well, I would say like your offer and the guarantee you had played a large role in that as well. Like,
Yeah.
so I wouldn't take all the credit myself, because like you also like are in the space, you know how much the offer matters, right? So, for example, if you had to share, uh, like, give an advice to our other clients, right, who might not be getting the similar results that you are, like, what do you think is different between like your campaigns and others that makes yours perform so well?
That's my advice to people. If they want to really get some results quickly,
Hmm.
personalize the outreach. And so that's why I think that starting with your method for somebody who has never done cold email before, and you said it yourself, it was also partially about our offer. Well, we've proven our offer with strangers already using systems like these personalized systems. That's where then you can add a more automated system on top of it, and it's going to work. I
Yep.
would maybe be slightly more cautious towards, if you have never done cold email before, then immediately start with an automated AI generated system. It might work. It's worth a try, right? But I
Yep.
would maybe suggest that you do a bit more a personalized approach first.
Hmm. And but I really like your approach. And to be honest, I haven't tried it out yet because I really want to, because like the numbers that you're talking about seem really good. And one more thing I was like always say, like, personalization is just an amplifier than just something to rely on alone, right? And Okay, besides that, so for example, if there's somebody who is sitting on a fence, they're not sure whether they should work with us or not. Like, is there anything that you would tell them?
I think it's very important that you look at a person's track record, right? And given that there's maybe 5 to 10% of B2B lead gen agencies who have client testimonials like this one, I would
Hmm.
say pick those that have successful client testimonials, especially video, because anybody can fake some kind of text written, but go for that. Go with your gut, go with the recommendation. Do you feel that this person understands your business? And then go with your gut whether you have good chemistry with them. And then finally, have they done this before? And you have. So that would be my answer. Can I add one more thing on the topic
Sure.
of what
Sure.
matters to get validation? Because I was so focused on the
Hmm.
personalization, and you said something very correctly. Namely, it's
Hmm.
not only about the personalization. The other thing that makes a huge difference is relevant case studies. Okay, so I would
Hmm.
even recommend that you, if you've had, let's say, a bit of a diverse group of clients in the past, pick the one that has had the best success with you, that you've had the most success with, and then turn it into a case study and even just mention it in 2, 3 sentences at the end. But make sure that you direct that campaign at people exactly like that. So let's say we have worked with fractional CFOs, right? In our case. And so we've had one very, very prominent success story where a fractional CFO like doubled his revenue within 2 months of working with us. So we're using that in order to approach fractional CFOs. That works really well. We've had other types of clients where
Hmm.
finding similar ones is a bit more difficult. They're more like idiosyncratic. So we cannot really use those case
Yeah.
studies very well. But that combination of personalization, ideally an offer that provides some kind of risk reduction, like a money back guarantee, and
Hmm.
relevant case studies, that's the killer combination that's gonna help you book calls with strangers.
Yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned that because that's exactly what I was waiting for, because there are some people who believe that they're going to start sending cold emails and it's suddenly going to like transform their business, which is like, okay, the whole point of the cold email is just to distribute your offer in front of the right audience, right? For a
Yeah.
quite cheap price. And when you don't have the case studies, when you don't have an offer nailed down, it's very hard to do so. So that's, yeah, why I always advise my clients to have like collect quantifiable case studies and also have an offer that actually people want respond to and like proceed with.
Yeah. I would even give you a 4-step recommendation here. When you are about to formulate an offer, when you want to, and an offer has to always be something like a valuable outcome, Hormozy value formula, valuable outcome, increase perception of likelihood of achievement divided by time delay times effort and sacrifice. Okay, there has to be a desirable outcome that you present to the prospect. So once you have that offer, do these 4 steps. Number one, run it past your warm network, people who you know who are in this space and who will give you feedback. What do you think about this offer? Okay, and they will give you feedback. That's one step. That's going to tell you if it's going in the right direction or not. Once you have
Mhm.
that, and some people have given you kind of their approval for this, it's still relatively weak because some people might just be nice to you. So the next second step is to approach strangers on LinkedIn using conversational prospecting, just friendly chit chat, and book them on sort of discovery calls, more like market research calls. There you will
Yeah.
get more unbiased response because these people don't know you and will be more open to give you even harsh feedback. Your friends might not. So that's a step 2. Go to and do LinkedIn conversational prospecting, just friendly chit chat, not just directly pitch slapping them, but friendly chit chat. The third thing will be then to do these personalized outreaches because you will get more qualitative feedback from that. So personalized outreaches using these, let's say, personalized looms. And then once you have proven all of this, then you can start adding fuel to the fire, doing
Mhm.
automated AI generated cold, or AI enhanced cold emails. And once you've proven that, then it's time for ads.
Mhm.
Okay. So that would be my recommended progression so that you don't start with the stage 4 thing and then are wondering, oh, I tried cold emails, it didn't work.
Yeah, true. And I love it. You're dropping some mad value in this interview as well. So I really appreciate that. And well, practically that's basically everything I wanted to talk about today. So I once again appreciate you a lot for taking your time to show up on this
Absolutely.
call. And yeah, like
Great.
Have a nice
Great talking to you, Gio. Thank you so much.
day. Take care.